I think I probably liked it the most out of the three of us, which is weird.
I don't think it's that weird because I feel like Junho became your everything.
Annyeonghaseyo! Welcome to Afternoona Delight, where Leah, Megan, and Amy, romance novelists and your K-romance guides. So grab some dekboki and listen to your new favorite unnies.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Hi there.
Just talk about the elephant in the room and get it done with.
What's the elephant in the room?
the naked doll that I said don't talk about.
Yeah, I want you to talk about the naked doll. Just
get it. You've got 30 seconds.
No, you're a writer. You can describe it.
Now I feel put on the spot. Like, whatever. I have a naked doll. So what?
Amy got mail today.
I got it yesterday, actually. So the Rose has plushies, and they are all wearing like animal onesies, but they don't come in their onesies. They come naked, and we didn't know this. And so I've got Woo-sung in my hands right now, and you see all Woo-sung's tattoos and his Ken doll midsection, nether region. And then there's also a Hajun too. So just so you know, the Rose is a 4-person Korean band, and I just saw them in concert in Denver. Leah saw them in California. I saw them also over the summer in Chicago. They're fantastic. This is their first album since all coming back from the military, and they are crushing it. They charted on Billboard. It's really, really exciting. And they just announced plushies, and they sold out really fast. So I only have 2 of the 4 so far. The other 2 are coming in the spring, but they come naked. So that's all there is. They come naked. Okay.
And I love them. I think they're really cute. I love that they're, the tattoos are anatomically correct.
Yes.
No other
things are not anatomically correct, but yeah.
But the tattoos are really, really cool. I would love it if ATEEZ did something like that. I would buy them immediately. Yeah, they don't have tattoos, but
we're in like the very, very end of November right now. And today is the day that Spotify does its Unwrapped, where it like shows you what you've listened to. And I was honestly surprised that the Rose made it to my top 5. Like, I listened to them a lot. I don't know why I was surprised, but I still was surprised to see them in my top 5.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, of all that you listen to though, I feel like it has to pick 5, right? So you think there's somebody you listen to more?
Oh, no. Yeah. No, I'm not arguing it. I'm just saying, like, clearly I listen to the Rose quite a lot. Yeah. I believe it. Yeah. I just was like, I'm always surprised to see what's in my top 5. Like, my top song of the year that I've listened to more than anything else, I was surprised. It was Haegum on D-Day, which, again, I listened to August D from BTS quite a lot. However, I was still surprised Haegum was my song of the year.
And my top song was Back to Me by The Rose, which is not at all a surprise because it is my favorite song. But what I really thought was funny was my top 5 artists are 4 out of 5 are Korean, and then Taylor Swift.
Oh, mine was the same except I had Halsey.
Yeah.
So my top song was Fireworks by ATEEZ, which I'm not really sure. See, I do random playlists, and so sometimes it just is like whatever Spotify decides to play the most on my playlist. Does that make sense? So I'm like, I don't know if that was really like my top song. It just is like, I will say I don't listen to music maybe as I use Spotify a lot for podcasts.
I do too.
That's my so I think Spotify is like, let's just get to the podcast you listen to, because that's going to be.
Does it put podcasts on your Wrapped though? Because it didn't put podcasts on mine.
Yeah, because we have people who will tag us, about their podcasts, but I don't know if mine. I don't know. I'd have to look through it.
Mine didn't. I actually laughed. So I do not listen to any podcasts on Spotify. I listen to them on the Apple whatever podcast.
Okay. Right.
But what's funny is it gave me this thing, and it was like, "Oh, you tried one podcast," and it was our podcast, and it said you listened to it for 23 minutes. And I was like, in the entire year, I listened to the Afternoona Delight podcast.
Spotify's like, I guess that's a dud.
I just was surprised it reported it back to me. I was
That's so funny. I do re-listen to our podcast. Like, so a lot of times I do listen to the full thing. I don't know why, because I was there.
I don't ever listen to our podcast.
Really?
No.
I almost always replay our podcast. I don't know.
Especially if I'm there. If it's an episode that I'm not at, sometimes I will listen, but if I'm there, I don't.
And I laugh along with us again.
I do occasionally. I have one going right now. I was listening to one recent, I've got one in the car that I've been listening to a little bit, but I only do it on the Apple store, never clearly on Spotify.
I listen to true crime series. So if there's a series, like I think one of the top podcasts right now is Scamanda. I listened to Scamanda like, oh my God, like a long time ago, like last year. Like I love series, true crime and stuff like that. So, anyway, I don't know what to segue.
You like to experience tragedy as entertainment?
I mean,
she does.
Actually, if there was a podcast series on the true life inspiration to the drama that we're talking about today, hands down, I would watch it. Yeah, or listen to it. I would too. Yeah.
I would not.
Oh.
I would not.
About the actual historical event?
Nope.
Oh, interesting. Well,
it's not that I don't want to know about it. I don't want to listen to a podcast series on any.
I honestly, I don't know what my deal is.
Yeah,
I would for something like this because true crime. Generally, I'm a no. Like occasionally, I'll get stuck into something and then I go like all in. But generally, it's a no. But something like this, it feels like often, like what this is based on, feels very much in keeping with like if a plane crashes or something. And it's just interesting to see how many little things have to go wrong to make like the big thing happen, right?
Mm-hmm. I do think it's interesting for sure. I just don't.
It's not your entertainment.
I don't seek out tragedy for entertainment. And I'm not saying you seek out tragedy, but it's I usually want to escape when I'm
totally
going for
totally
entertainment.
All right. Well, should we jump in?
Let's do it. I'm very excited to talk about this drama, which just before we get into it, this is a much requested drama from our listeners, our Patreon, from like almost the inception of our podcast.
Yeah, I feel like it's tapered off over time because now there's new ones that have replaced it. But I felt like this was like for a long time.
We've been promising to do this one for a long time. And so I'm glad that we did.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, I can jump in and then we can just take turns kind of reading through the blurb. Okay.
Let's do it.
So here is the premise of the drama we're talking about today, which is called Rain or Shine or Just Between Lovers. And we'll get into the titles in a little bit. So, in the wake of a devastating building collapse, the lives of 3 young individuals become forever entangled, bound by a tragic event that claimed the lives of their loved ones. A decade ago, the S Mall crumbled due to shoddy construction, resulting in the loss of 48 lives. Haunted by the memories of that fateful day, Ha-moon Soo, played by Won Jinah, mourns the loss of her younger sister, while Lee Kong-do, played by Lee Junho, anxiously awaited his father, an electrician working within the ill-fated structure. Then we have Sa-ju-wan, played by Lee Ki-woo, assisting his father, the chief engineer, who miraculously survived. Yet their lives are forever marked by the profound absence of those dearest to them.
Now, years later, Ju-won, an architect, leads a project aimed at replacing the S-Mall. With her sharp eye for detail and commitment to sound construction, Moon-soo becomes an invaluable asset to Ju-won's venture. Meanwhile, Kong-do grapples with life's challenges through odd jobs, eventually finding himself at the heart of the new construction site. As they confront the shadows of their shared past, Moon-soo, Kong-do, and Ju-won must navigate the intricate tapestry of pain and resilience that weaves through their lives.
Just Between Lovers, 2017 and 2018, directed by Kim Jin-won, Time Called You, My Country, The New Age, unfolds a poignant South Korean television drama that delves into the enduring impact of tragedy and the paths towards healing for those forever changed by a single catastrophic event. The credited writer, Yoo Bo-ra, has very little credited to her name, but has a thriller, Hide, coming out in 2024 with director Kim Dong-hui of The Tale of Nokdu and Fight for My Way fame.
Right, yeah. So the premise behind the drama, as we were alluding to at the opening, the shopping mall collapse, is not strictly fictional. So in 1995, the Sampoong department store in Seoul collapsed, killing hundreds of people. If you look at images of the collapse, you'll see similarities between them and the way the collapse happens at the S Mall in the drama. So massive structural failure attributed to greed and negligence costs the lives of many in both cases. And so while this drama is only loosely based on the actual collapse, the premise is very close to home. Many people who are alive today live with the memory of seeing it coming down, having actually even survived the collapse, or potentially losing loved ones. And again, like we said, this drama has come up time and time again in our Patreon, and we promised we'd cover it, so here we are. So, what is one word that describes this drama?
Morose. My screen name today, did you see what it is?
Okay. So, for me, I'm going to say survivor.
Mm-hmm. This isn't even a word, but I'm making up a word. I'm going to say heartwhelming. Mm-hmm. It's like, It whelmed my heart. And that's all, like, it just did. So I made up a word. That.
I like heartwhelming. It's better than rockage. Yeah. So how would you blurb this drama to listeners?
It's going to come across that I didn't like this drama, and I did like it, but it was very emotionally taxing for me. So my blurb is my mister with romance.
That's fair. I would just say, I mean, honestly, look, to sell this drama, it's Lee Junho. So if I'm going to tell people to watch this, I'm going to say it's Lee Junho being the absolute, like, best boyfriend. Like, that's with a lot of trauma.
And I'm going to say it's an examination of how you find a way to heal and move on through survivor's guilt. I mean, the whole drama is basically about survivors.
It is. Ugh, gosh.
Okay, so what is a book or movie that deals with a tragedy that happened in living memory well?
So I have a couple. Like, we were talking right before we started, or was it already on the pod? I don't even remember now. I'm so brain dead. I don't usually seek out tragic nonfiction, but there are some that I have experienced over the years that really stuck with me. And the first that came to mind was Steven Spielberg's adaptation of Schindler's List, which is a book by Thomas Keneally. And if you haven't read it, haven't seen it, it's a fictional account of the real Oskar Schindler, who was a German businessman that saved more Jews from the gas chamber than any other, like, single human during World War II. And that's, I mean, anything that you are going to watch or read about the Holocaust is going to be rough to read, right? Or to experience. But to see something like that, which showed that there was hope for some, during that time, it was really powerful. And I thought it was really well done. I only saw that. It's one of those things, I only saw the movie once and I won't watch it again, but I'm glad that I saw it. Another book is Columbine by Dave Cullen. So when I was a high school English teacher, at the school that turned me into a writer, so I'll give credit to Fremd High School, because of this event that we have every year called Writers Week, which is, watching my students get up and write got me to get up and write. But we bring in authors from, all over the country who present and stuff like that. And we had Dave Cullen, like, soon after Columbine came out. And if you don't know the book Columbine, it is basically a journalistic account of the Columbine massacre at Columbine High School in Colorado. And he took 10 years to write this book. Like, that's how much research that went into it. And it is, you talk about, like, survivor's guilt and stuff like that. It is not only a deep look inside Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, who were the perpetrators of the massacre and what kind of led up to that, but also talking to the survivors and their account of it and how they were coping or not afterwards. And this was at a time where I was a teacher, where I was doing lockdown drills every year at the beginning of school. I'm teaching students how to do that, and throughout the school year. And a lot of that stemmed from, this event. And so it's stuff like that, again, I don't seek out for entertainment, but I think is important to experience, because it has shaped the way that our school system works, which is kind of awful, but true. Mm-hmm. So those are the two that came to my mind. I could have thrown in there Titanic, a movie that I saw 5 times and hated by the 5th time.
Oh my God, I watched it so many times too. What do you mean by living memory?
I meant by the fact that, like, watching this drama, like, it's not like a Civil War biopic, right? Or, it's like about, because I think it hits differently when you're talking about a historical event that's seeped in tragedy, and the people who were probably involved in that event
are still around,
are still alive.
Right. Okay. I mean, I would say that, this is a K-drama, but All of Us Are Dead was one of those for me, which I know that, again, it was a zombie movie, but it was based on the Seawall Ferry, or not based on, but it had a lot of parallels to the Seawall Ferry tragedy. And that's All of Us Are Dead is still in my top 5. And it was very much because I did a lot of research on the ferry disaster, or I had known about it before the drama. And then I watched the drama, and then I read about it, and then I read about the parallels. And I think that is one of the reasons that drama has stuck with me for so long, is just because, and I'm not from Korea. I didn't experience the tragedy, but it's like the empath in me that that really affected me.
Mm-hmm. I'm going with one that I read, which is a fictionalization of an actual event, which is Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close by Jonathan Safran Foer. And this is a book that kind of talks about, the main character is Oscar, a 9-year-old boy whose father, Thomas, dies in the World Trade Center terrorist attacks on September 11th. And this is, I think, the only fictionalized content I've ever, experienced about the Trade Center. I don't think I've watched any of the movies about it, and this book I read that was a fictionalized account is the only one I've picked up about it. Mm-hmm. And so in it, the little boy, he has a lot of insomnia and panic attacks after the event, and eventually one day he goes into his father's closet and he finds a key inside of a small envelope when he breaks a vase, and he sets out on a mystery to try to figure out what is the lock that this key belonged to. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of the story of it kind of follows his journey through New York, and then also ties into some of his family's history as well. And there's kind of a parallel story about generations from before. And this isn't really a spoiler, but I found it very striking. It is kind of a spoiler, I guess. So if you don't want to know anything about the end, flip forward, but this isn't actually written in words. At the very end of the book, it's a flip style animation of the photograph of the falling man, which is one of the famous photos, which was the man falling from the Twin Towers. Oh, and when you get to the end of the book and you do a flip, almost like an animation flip, it's the image of the falling man, but it goes back. It's an ascension. And that's the end of the book.
Oh, wow. Oh,
so...
my.
Yeah, and I think I asked the question mostly because I feel it also comes with a certain level of responsibility, I think, to document fictionally an event, a tragic event, where the survivors and those impacted are still around you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That was a good question. I was just wait, what's living memory? Can I talk about Gladiator?
No. But thank you. Good try.
Thank you, but no.
So, okay, this is one thing that throws me a lot, is this drama goes by 2 names. Rain or Shine, which was the, English, the English title of the drama. And then Just Between Lovers, which is a translation of the Korean title. So I want to talk a little bit about what you prefer, but I also just wanted to also say something that I found interesting, because we're going to be talking about Junho a lot in this and his thoughts in the drama. But he shared something I thought was interesting, which is the drama's Korean title is Just Between Lovers. And he liked the word just in the title because he says, my character often says the word just, and I understand him. It's just life. We just live. There aren't any other reasons. So he liked the just and the just between lovers. But yeah, which one do you prefer?
So I thought his interpretation was interesting, but to me it sounded a little bit kind of existential, like there's no reason, it just happens, kind of thing. And that made it a little bit more depressing for me, but I still like that title, and I like the just in a little bit of a different way. I think both kind of fit for different reasons, but I like Just Between Lovers better. Because even though we get to experience a fictional account of this, of what was a very real tragedy, we will never truly understand that impact. Like that kind of understanding exists just or only between those who survived it or those who lost somebody in the tragedy. So that's where the just kind of fit for me, is that it really only is truly understood just by those people, but we get a kind of peek into it.
I kind of don't really like either title, I gotta be honest with you. Both of them sound like kind of generic, like rom-com. And I love rom-com, so this isn't, I'm saying they sound like just kind of generic titles. And for a drama, which to me was really impactful and meant so much. I mean, I like Rain or Shine based on how much it rained during this drama. And there's things that happen in the rain.
It's also the name of the ice cream place.
Yeah, it's the name of the ice cream shop.
Yeah, but it's I don't know. And then, Just Between Lovers, I think I would like it better, but I don't like the word lover, but that's just a personal thing.
No lover for you.
Your husband's not your lover?
Ew.
You don't like the word lover? I like
no,
lover.
I hate the word lover. I like it.
How?
I like it less than moist.
Really?
Yeah.
How about moist lovers?
All right. Well, look, this is gonna be a good one because we have brackets. So I like Rain or Shine. I like Rain or Shine because it is the name of the ice cream shop where the two protagonists are when the mole collapse happens. And I also just I thought there was a lot of callbacks to the ice cream shop, which I thought the ice cream shop was a perfect setting to have as the before, the inciting incident, because it's just a happy, you're not going to be sad getting your ice cream.
Right.
We had the potential of some first love. We've got putting on some lipstick and feeling cute as a teenager. It's just, I liked the Rain or Shine. And then overall, just in the drama, I thought it fit. I like the title, Rain or Shine. I'm going to stand by it.
Okay.
I just need to say, I mean, I am obsessed with that first meeting between them when they're teenagers at the ice cream shop.
When he sees her through the window.
When he sees her through the window, she doesn't see
she
him.
Thinks
she's
it's a
putting
mirror. Yeah.
She thinks it's a mirror. Yeah. She's putting on the lipstick, and then the mall essentially starts to it's gonna collapse, and the glass breaks, and the glass just falls down, and they're both staring at each other.
Yeah,
and it's the
powerful
moment. It's so powerful. It's the moment before their lives are going to change forever, and that they're going to then experience this tragedy together. I mean, just everything about that scene was so powerful, and I think so well done, so well written, so well shot. And kudos to those younger actors that had to do that role.
They did a great job.
Great. Yeah. Yeah, the boy, what is his name? The young one. That actor, I've seen him, who played the young Kang-do, I've seen him in other stuff before. He's fantastic. Didn't he play the young,
He played young someone
young
else.
good boy?
Yes.
He played young good boy, didn't he?
I think. Let me see. Try and find him.
I think he did. But anyway, I love that scene. You know what? And I just need to confess, I did not know that was the name of the ice cream shop.
I think it's actually Rainy Shine in the drama, but it's close enough. Oh my gosh, he's he is young Min Hyuk in The Sound of Magic.
No, I don't remember that.
And God. He is He is Han Ji-pyong in Startup.
Okay. So he's when like Min-hyuk just like stops emotionally like progressing.
Yeah. So, okay, our hero, played by Junho, Junho went heavy into method acting for this. He dropped 7 Ks, tried to be alone as much as possible, and speak infrequently. And then, he said, quote, "The role has not been easy for me. I've been going through psychological difficulties," he says. So here's something that stunned me. Junho didn't even get a Baeksang Best New Actor for his performance is Lee Gang-do. So why is this an outrage?
Wait, did he get a nomination?
Yeah. No, he didn't get a nomination.
No, I didn't know that. That is I want to fight. How long ago did this drama come out? I want to
2017, 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know this about the method, but like it tracks 100% because like he was Lee Gang-do. Like he was like I had a heart like as I'm watching it I'm like wait. This is like the same sorry, I'm forgetting what's the name of the drama, his newest drama.
King the Land.
Oh, King the Land. I'm like, this is the same guy who parachuted like onto the rooftop in King the Land and his, in his tailored suit and pretended to be an intern. Like, I'm stunned. Like, he was so good. He inhabited this character. Like, if he were to walk up to me right now and be like, "I'm Lee Gang-do," I would believe it. And I thought he was absolutely brilliant. And I can't believe he was not noticed for this nationally.
So here's the thing. I think this drama, you have to just accept that it's Lee Junho's drama.
It is.
And just watch it that way. I know that there were some people who didn't love the heroine, mostly like her performance. Some people, I've seen some slight criticism that they found her flat, that she didn't really hold up to Junho. I don't care. Maybe. I mean, I found her endearing. I thought she did great. I thought she did what she could. I don't think many people can hold up to Lee Junho, especially the way he played this role. I just think you have to go into it knowing, okay, yeah, this is Lee Junho's, this is his thing. Like, this is his drama, this is his story, and everyone else is just, like, along for the ride. I mean, the lasting impression that this drama has left on me in regards to Lee Junho, I think I have a problem watching him in other things.
Yeah.
Because all I want is him to be Gang-do, because that is how much I loved this character. To me, he was like the ultimate boyfriend. Like, okay, so take like What's Wrong with Secretary Kim. Look, I love it. It's a great drama.
Why have we been throwing it under the bus like so much lately?
I know we have. But my point is, Park Seo-joon's character, I wouldn't date him. I mean, come on. He would be so irritating. Even same with Business Proposal. No, thank you. I don't want to date either of those guys. I enjoyed the drama, but they're like not for me. Gang-do? Oh my God. Like, just one shot. Because I think he is just perfect. And the way he treats her in this drama, when he is so damaged like himself, and he tries his very best. I mean, we'll talk
the
about
way it.
he
treats everybody. The way he doesn't even like. There's a love triangle threat, and he isn't even like an a-hole. Like he's like, yeah, that's a good guy. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I just love him. To me, this character, and I've seen a lot of it's been a while since I've seen Rain or Shine. A while, and he still holds up compared to other dramas, compared to other boyfriends. And I think about him in this drama still continually.
Yeah, I think about method acting a little bit because it always feels interesting to me. And I'm like, I guess I don't have a strong opinion. I'm not an actor. I would find it highly irritating to be in a relationship or be with somebody doing this. And I guess I was thinking about it too because I was reading today about Judd Nelson from The Breakfast Club. And apparently he went all in on method acting.
On John Bender?
Yeah,
really?
So apparently he went into a school and like posed as a high school student, bought kids beer. He was 24. He bought kids beer saying it was his fake ID, like wore the clothes that he wore in the high school as like the kid. And then I guess outside of it,
look at that dude and think he was in high school.
No. And then outside of that, I guess he was just a total dick animal to Molly Ringwald. And she could deal. She was kind of like, whatever. Like, according to her, she was like, I let it slide, but he was a total dick to me all the time.
Because of the role.
Because of the role.
Yeah.
And then John Hughes just was like, I'll never work with you again. Because he was just he played himself. He stayed in that Bender role all the time. Never broke it.
Oh, that's annoying. I mean, good for...
And I think of, like, Daniel Day-Lewis. I mean, imagine dealing with Daniel Day-Lewis.
Right.
Oh, my God.
I'd be
That's
like,
who came to mind. Daniel Day-Lewis
Yeah.
or like Johnny Depp, who...
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know.
He's gonna like Willy Wonka for years.
Wait, who was, the Gangs of New York, the Daniel Day-Lewis character?
Yeah.
And can you imagine living with that guy?
Yeah, just like, arr.
Oh my God.
Bill the Butcher.
Yeah, Bill the Butcher. Thank you. I was like, what was his name? Oh my God. Can you imagine?
Or I think of him as Nathaniel in Last of the Mohicans.
I was going to say, isn't Last of the Mohicans coming up?
Yeah, like when he go get some food and be like, I will find you. As he goes to the salad bar.
I mean, Lee Junho, he would just be, it would rain. He'd just be like, oh, my leg. My leg's acting up.
You just have to like,
You know what though? A la Business Proposal, he would still give her an umbrella, even if it rained.
Yeah. And I don't know, I didn't do enough research to tell if it was true or not. It felt far-fetched. I don't know, but I did read that he spent a long time, perhaps up to 6 months. I just feel like that's I mean, he was a working, he was an idol as well. I just don't think he took like that much time off, but apparently spent a lot of time alone in a room too. Just like stayed inside in the dark, like didn't get out a lot.
I mean, he did live in a hovel in the drama. And I understand why Amy is a little like, this was my mystery. I mean, he did live in this tiny hovel.
And look, I liked the drama. Like, that's the whole thing. But I was spent when I was done. I was emotionally spent.
Okay,
and no one's going to disagree.
Let's pivot to who would like this drama or who may want to give it a skip, and what are any comps?
I mean, you have to be in the mood for the sads. And like I said, to be emotionally spent at the end. Like, I feel like if you know that going in and you prepare yourself for it, that it's okay. Like, if you were on our last Patreon live, you know that like I was flipping my shit towards the end. Something that we'll talk about in the spoiler section. That like, it was so sad and all the survivor's guilt and important stuff, but like, it was a lot. And then they threw like another big freaking wrench into the possibility of happiness, like literally in the second to last episode. And I was like, I'm like, I can't.
You're like, I'm done. Yeah. I feel fatigue.
Yeah.
Which I was
emotionally fatigued big time. So I mean, you know, it's a drama that's done. So it's all out there. So like you could binge it, but you won't want to. I think, like, I watched it like a couple episodes a week. I didn't binge it because it was a lot to take.
Yeah, I binged it.
Well, then your heart is made of stronger stuff than mine.
So I would say that it's about trauma for sure, but it's also about healing. And so it's sad, but I would say that ultimately it's a healing drama. It's about how people heal.
Takes a long time for them to heal, though.
But it's healing. I mean, it's a traumatic process. Of course, and so, I mean, but the drama itself is about trauma and then healing from trauma. And also with healing from trauma, I would say that what also resonated for me in the drama is that it wasn't like it's like trauma, now I'm healed and happy.
No.
It was like trauma and then a little bit of happy, then some setbacks.
Right. It's a bittersweet ending. Like,
and then it ends, with like, but I mean, it doesn't end tragically, I guess.
No.
And the trauma throughout the whole movie isn't a consistent level of trauma. Like there's trauma with moments of healing and then like a step back or a step forward, you know? So I think it's the journey.
You know, I've seen While You Were Sleeping and I realized I don't talk about that drama like ever. Well, but I would say that that's probably a good comp. I personally think that Just Between Lovers or Rain or Shine is like a classic K-drama in the sense that I think if you are like an avid K-drama watcher, it should be on your list. Like, I just think it's one of those dramas.
Yeah.
I personally think every avid K-drama watcher should see it. I just there's so much to it. Lee Junho, the oh my god. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not going to stop talking about it. Actually, I'm not sorry. Lee Junho, you have to see this performance.
It is an amazing.
That's what I think.
It is.
I truly believe it should be talked about along with Goblin, along with the classics.
So some of the comps I'm going to give for it are Move to Heaven, I think, is a bit of a comp.
That is a good one.
I feel like it deals with different traumas and has like some overall healing. It's not a neat comp. I don't have like a neat comp. And the other comp I think is surprising because this movie is not high action, but I'm going to say Healer's a good comp.
You beat me to it, and I'm really glad. But I would say Healer too. I would
with the hero. I feel like the hero is a very good comp.
Yep, I agree.
Junho.
I think that's why I liked this drama so much.
You love a working class blue collar
damaged hero.
Who's damaged but is like good to the bone. You give you that, and you're like a social outcast, but you will go all in on the woman you love.
Yeah. You nailed it. That is exactly my hero. So, so that's why this worked for me. And that's another thing too. Like, this just had so many elements of what works for me. There was like kind of like enough. There's like there wasn't action, but there was like things that happened that was like enough to get like my blood pumping a little bit. Mm-hmm. Remember there was that whole like the rain and they're in the mud pit and
we'll get to the spoiler section in a little bit.
Okay. Talk about your favorite scenes and the favorite scene part.
It's like holding the wall. Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead. All right. Well, would you watch another drama by this writer?
Yes. 100%. 100%.
I don't, it's hard to tell because there's not much to their list. You know what I mean? But it looks like what is on their list so far is very similar in tone. And so I'm going to say right now, probably not.
You're like, I need a break.
I do. So That's fair. Here's the thing. I liked this drama. I'm glad that I watched it. I would not have sought it out for myself. And so I'm glad that I watched it. But does it make me want to watch more like it? Not right now.
Mm-hmm. That is totally fair. I mean,
and for me, I looked at what else they had, and there was nothing else that really grabbed me. But I would feel like it wasn't like I watched this and was like, "Oh, you're definitely on like my Dead to Me." Like, I mean, I thought it was a well written drama.
Yeah,
we'll talk about there's a quibble I have with the drama, but you know what? I'm writing a book again now, and I'm in that like benevolent empathy for everyone, where I'm like, it's so fucking hard to write something with no problems. Really and then we all sit here and just like pick it apart, and we're like, oh, you made this choice or that choice or whatever. So I'm also just like, okay, we'll talk about the quibble I have. It's not a huge quibble, but it will be discussed. But that will be for the spoiler section. First, we're going to do our favorite part of every episode, which is our K-pop Rec of the Week.
I am so excited because I have had this on like the back burner to recommend for like weeks, and now I finally get to recommend it. So the song is called Maniac, and it is by VIVIZ. I'm not actually sure how to pronounce that, but it's VIVIZ.
I love that we've been talking about like the wildness that's K-pop names more and more.
Wildness and the song names that have like parentheses and hyphens and whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love this group. It's actually 3 members of the former group G-Friend, which was a really popular group that disbanded, and then 3 members started this new group. And this song called Maniac is so great. And this is the thing, the choreography, I cannot stop watching. I'm addicted to it. So, like K-pop groups always do like the dance challenges or whatever, where they take like part of the choreography and then they make all the other K-pop groups dance with them. But there is a certain dance part in this song that is so addicting to watch. And they're making especially like male K-pop members, to watch them do this like booty shake that like they have to do, or it's like a booty swivel. I don't know. It's great. And fun fact, the choreographer who did this has choreographed for Beyonce. So her like credentials are great. She really has these women dancing like women, and they look hot. You can tell they feel good. Like you can tell they feel hot. They're like, this is hot. Look at me. Look at my butt. And I love it. So, and I overall, I just love the song. It's been a total earworm. So I highly recommend it. It's called Maniac by VIVIZ. VIVIZ.
All right. Thank you very much.
VIVIZ very much.
VIVIZ much.
If you enjoy our podcast, you have our patrons to thank, at least in part. Afternoona Delight Patreon allows us to keep creating content for y'all to enjoy. Thank you so much to everyone who is supporting us there. And not to brag, but our Patreon community is pretty awesome. And you can join at a tier that feels good to you. Gain access to fun perks like Kdrama posts, monthly Patreon-only bonus podcasts, and even a live Kdrama support group on Zoom. Because we know firsthand what it's like to have no one to talk to about those crazy plot twists, amazing characters, and all those feelings. And look, no one should have to walk that walk alone. So learn more by visiting afternoonadelight.com. That's www.afternoonadelight.com. And hey, while you're on the website, you can check out Afternoona Delight podcast merch, find links to book recommendations, bop along to our Kpop Recs, glow up your skin with K merch Recs, find all of our social media, and a link to our email so you can send us recommendations or feedback. And hey, while you're at it, why don't you pop over to Spotify or Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star review? It really helps with our discoverability. 감사합니다. So here we are in the spoiler section. If you would like to jump off this train now and go and decide to watch it and then come back, we'll see you then. If not, here we are. So, Bound by Tragedy, Healed Through Love. What is one thing you enjoyed about this drama and one thing you did not?
So I love that the drama showed how the tragedy affected not just those who either survived the S-Mall collapse or lost loved ones, but it showed how it affected sort of everyone on the periphery, like even our second leads, who I think were very well-drawn characters. And I liked that a lot. I liked that this was a big ensemble cast. Was it Junho's drama? Absolutely. But I think we got a lot from everybody who was involved. And I really liked that everybody's like sort of role had a purpose. What did I not like? I did not like, I told you I had enough sads. And so I did not like Lee Junho surviving the collapse, only to possibly be dying of liver failure up until the last 9 minutes of the drama. Like, I did not have that in me to wait until like 50 minutes into the final episode to find out whether or not his liver was saved by Jun from Hospital Playlist.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like that either. No. Who does like that? Like, who's like, yeah, I love that the hero almost died of liver failure. Like, if you really loved that, let us know. Because, I mean, good for you.
Because even Gangdu was like enough already. Like, haven't I been through enough?
Gangdu's like, is this really what the script says? Like, are you freaking kidding me? But I love the romance. Like, that, I adored the friggin'. I know the drama was about Survivor's Guild. I know it had a deeper meaning, but the lasting impression that I have always had on this drama is that I really, truly love the romance. It was these two people who, like, could understand each other in a way that no one else could. They really, to me, I felt, when the drama was done, I was like, they're going to live happily ever after. Like, I fully bought into the romance and Lee Junho. Like, and I'm sorry to be shallow, but I love that we got a bed scene. I love that they got their hotel moment, even though he was possibly dying.
I love that she initiated it.
Yeah, she's like, we're fucking.
She's like, there's one of those places. Let's go check it out.
She's like,
he's like pearl clutching. It was so cute.
She's like, we're going to Bone Town. Let's go. And I loved it. I just loved it.
Yeah, I think I like the introspective vibes of it.
Leah's like, I like the...
I did. I thought it was like the introspection I felt like was good. I felt like it was well written. And like, look, it wasn't... Like we just talked about, this is a drama about a giant tragedy that happened. Like, even though it's not like an autobiography, it's paralleling an actual tragedy that happened in the middle of the city that they're filming it in a city that they all live and work in too. It wasn't even like you had the distance of like going to a shoot. Like it's like in the town that like is the hub of their entire country.
Right.
And so I felt like it honored that and did a good job. I felt like maybe there were I think that what I didn't like about it, it's not the drama's fault, but like Amy said, I did just watch through it. I wouldn't do a little bit at a time because I felt like in some ways, once I was in, I just was like, I'm deciding to watch this. And I think it's well done, but am I always enjoying? No. Right. Like, it wasn't like I would sit back and be like, boy, I'm just super relaxed and can't, like, I'd finish one and be like, okay, like, let's do the next one.
Yeah.
And I felt like that isn't a reflection on the drama being bad. It's a reflection on the fact I'm a human being.
Right.
And like, yeah, it's difficult to watch trauma. And so I guess, would I rewatch it? No. I'm glad I experienced it, but I can see that I would not like be like, yeah, I'm going to go back and like get hit in the feels with this all over. I would not. I also understand why someone would. It's just for me, there were parts that just felt too rough. Like her, and we'll get into some of that, like her losing her sister. I mean, just like the family's brokenness that just like felt like, for me, it would just be too hard to just go back and watch again and again. But I am glad I did it once and I really went all in when I watched it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I also really loved Lee Junho. I love Kang Ju's arc. Like, I really thought the character growth for that character was very well written. He still wasn't like emotionally fixed at the end. I guess his liver was fixed, but he wasn't like emotionally fixed.
We're sorry, you don't match for any donors.
I'm sorry. Liver failure is not funny. It's just like,
it's not. It is not a laughing matter.
It's just,
but leave it in hospital playlist, please. Just leave it there.
All that this character went through in his life, and then they're like, "Oh, let's give him liver failure."
By the way,
it was just a lot.
By the way, if you would have taken care of this 10 years ago, you'd be okay. But you didn't.
That too. Oh my God.
But and then you took pain medicine, which further fucked up your liver. Like, it was so much.
Right. I still loved the character growth for him. And all he had to overcome. And I don't know, man. But I don't disagree. I mean, there was definitely some lightness to it, which I would say, I remember when I watched, I was actually surprised because I actually did think it was going to be like in the doldrums. And I do think there was some lightness, there was some humor. I think the romance helped a lot with that. But I mean, I can't disagree that it was a rough watch sometimes, a lot of the time.
All the time.
And that's okay. I feel like when you experience art, like, it becomes like, what's the intent that you're experiencing? Like, if you're experiencing dramas because you always want lightness and escapism, then that's totally fine and a very valid reason to want to watch something. But I feel like that's not what was on offer for the story.
No.
Right. And I don't know. I think when I watched this, I was in the mood for it. I will tell you, I watched this very fast. And I think I probably liked it the most out of the three of us, which is weird.
I don't think it's that weird because I feel like Junho became your everything.
I think that's it. I truly believe he was, because he was like healer for me. So he became everything for me. The drama hinged on him for me. And in a way that, like, say, my mister couldn't do.
Yeah.
No offense at you.
So,
but I just couldn't. Yeah.
I took this. I'm just wondering if we could take it to the Patreon because I put in the Patreon and just said, any questions for the hosts since we're doing this. Also, any unburdenings to share. So, Okay, so here's one thing that comes up time and time again, and I'm just going to call out one comment, but it echoes, I think, a bigger conversation that I just want to touch on, which is about the actor, the heroine, Won Jinah. So, okay, one of the comments is this a controversial view or not? Their kiss scenes seem to be Junho 100% into it, and Jinah 50%. In fact, I probably couldn't enjoy it because of this.
I didn't feel that way, but then I do think Junho just is the type that just like takes over the kiss. Like he led the kiss. He was like the lead dancer, you know? He was like, I'm taking control. Like, this is the way our heads are going to move. This is where my tongue's going to be. And you're just going to take it. And she's like, yeah, sure. Because I will, because you're Lee Junho.
I also feel like because he is this drama, right? And whether or not he's your everything while you're watching this drama. And so I feel like during the kisses, I was just paying attention to him anyway.
Same. I feel bad.
So I'm sorry, like,
I know.
Unsu, but like, I just wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah, like Won Jinah, like we love you, and I
liked her. I did like her. I
liked her. I could see why he felt like, to me everything about it was believable. I thought she was really cute, but he just takes over.
Yeah, to me he took over. He's damaged and broken, and I was attracted to him, so that weighed a lot.
Yeah, same.
For her, I feel like people are saying, oh, like. Because a lot of the questions come down to like, was her portrayal flat? I personally feel like she played it as was written, which is the character that was the character. Like, it wasn't like the constantly quippy, witty,
she was buttoned up and like trying to just maintain the status quo. And it was meeting him that opened her up. And let her release a lot of what she'd been holding on to.
Yeah, I mean, that was her character arc. Her character arc was that she was very closed off. She, was almost every day mourning her sister inside and feeling guilt. And yeah, like I agree. I think I agree. She was as written.
Yeah, and to me, I'm surprised at how much negative feedback I've heard about her portrayal in the role. I did not feel that at all. I was really happy with her portrayal the entire time and thought she did a great job.
I guess I just think she was playing off of him, and I thought she played off of him great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't.
She wasn't my favorite heroine of all time, but I don't feel like that means that she didn't do a good job. It was just how the character was. I mean, I don't know. I'm like, these are broken.
She did her job.
People.
She did her job.
Yeah, she wasn't a Choi A Ra. Like, that wasn't
but
who
she wasn't
is.
supposed to be.
And she wasn't supposed to be. Yeah. And I guess you can say maybe you didn't like her character, and that's fine. I personally thought that they matched each other well. Like, I don't.
All right. So here's another one. This one I just want to read because here's somebody who is in their feelings.
Oh,
I love Rain or Shine with all that I am, and reading comments from others who love it too makes me so happy. Honestly, I'm a little nervous about the upcoming pod because this is one of those dramas that it hurts to hear criticized in any way.
Aww.
I know, and we know how that feels. So, as a preemptive shield, to me, Rain or Shine is just about perfect. A beautiful combination of nuanced writing from someone who deeply understands emotional trauma, an unusual setting among a found family of working-class people and others on the edges of society. Mm-hmm. Thoughtful and gorgeous cinematography and OST.
Oh, the OST is everything.
It's great. It is. Fantastic performances, enormously sympathetic characters who get to discover in varying degrees how much they are loved and that their true worth is so much greater than the false beliefs that they hold about himself.
Aww.
There's one thing that they say next, which I will quibble on.
Okay.
But... So they say points off for Junho's hair. Him in the watch cap heading out to sea was a revelation of handsomeness. I think points off for Junho's hair. That hair was my entire, like, I give an extra star for the drama because of that hair.
So at the beginning, can I just say at the beginning I hated it. And then by the end I was like, those orange curls ruffling in the breeze. I was in from
obsessed. The beginning. The minute I caught those orange curly cues, I was like, as soon as I read that, I was like, I'm loving everything you're saying. The record just screeched. That hair was its own character, and I was I wanted to like nestle in it like a woodland animal.
You know what also was its own character? Was the coat he had with the fur trim on the hood.
I loved it. I loved his clothes.
When the wind would ruffle his hair and that fur, I could have watched that alone for 6 hours.
Yeah, see, for me, the hair grew on me because in the beginning, I didn't love it, but then
me too.
It was Gongdu. Like that was Gongdu. So
me too.
I was there for it, and yeah, I want to give like just another hell yeah to the OST because I think that's really what hooked me was the music and the cinematography along with everything else. And this one song, it's called "Where We" by Kim Kyung Hee and Ryu Ji Hyun. Like, just look up Where We, WHERE, we. Like, you'll know it as soon as you hear it. That it's one of those things that, like, triggers my emotions just like Round and Round from Goblin. Like, as soon as I hear it, I'm like, I'm in it. And they played it at all the right times. It was really good.
Oh, I have to, that comment made me once again remember how much I love this drama. Like, I agree. It was emotionally taxing, obviously, but we talked about that's what it was supposed to be. But oh my God. See, it's, before this podcast tonight, I did go and like watch a few scenes on YouTube just to kind of like get in the mood. And I almost got like sucked back in to fucking Gongdu. Like it just, I almost got brought back in again. I'd like pull myself back. Like I'm like, I can't do this right now. I get sucked in.
And I hope that we're doing this listener, like that we're doing them justice as far as how we're talking about the drama, because I do hope it. Yeah. I don't want it to, with me joking about, it being morose and calling myself Eeyore.
But we're being like, you're being accurate though.
And there's plenty of, trust me, there are plenty of reviews out there. Like this is not a drama that has a unified, no drama is unified, but I have even seen, and I cannot believe it, I have even seen and like reading around like thoughts on this drama, not from the Patreon, but from like fan folks out in the world. People say that Junho's performance was flat.
No, shut up. I
know. I was like, throw down for.
Yeah, this is a hill I will die on. Yeah. There are hills I've said I will not die on. I will die on Gongdu Hill. Like, fight me. Yeah. No, he's incredible. And again, it's how Healer kind of fucked me up for Ji Chang-wook? This fucked me up for Lee Junho.
Mm-hmm. Although I didn't love King the Land. King the Land was fine. There were times I liked it a lot. There were times I was like, meh, but overall he was hot the whole time. I liked him the whole time. I liked him. I mean, this I loved him. And now I feel like I need to see Red Sleeve because I think that will be really like, I'm just curious where I fall out in the Red Sleeve conversation. And I'll take that one for the podcast because I know that's neither of yours.
I don't think I'm going to do that one.
Oh, no, that's fine. That's one I would like to sing to myself. But here we go. Okay. How about, let's talk about the main couple just a little bit.
Okay.
Did you feel like they had good chemistry and compatibility? Like, what did you just think about how the romance worked in general?
I did, but I feel like I've already given away the fact that I was focused more on him in the romance. And I think what we've already brought up is that like no actor was a match for Lee Junho in this drama. And so I thought she held her own. I did with him. And I thought they were well matched. I liked them.
I didn't think she was a water bottle character.
No.
We haven't talked about water bottles in a while. So water bottle being like kind of empty and vapid so that anyone can put themselves into the role. I don't feel like she was that.
No, she had a character.
She had agency.
She had an agency. She had an arc. Look, I already said, I loved the romance. I thought it was believable. I thought, so like I said, I'll be straight up. I was focused on Lee Junho. So I just wanted what was the best for him. And so it's so bad. The feminist left my body watching this. There was no feminism in my body watching this drama. But I was just like, who is going to treat him well? I just need the heroine to treat him well, and she did.
She did.
She did.
Oh my gosh!
And that's what I thought she like threw down for him.
Even when he tried to push her away, she's like, I'm just going to keep coming.
Yeah, and she threw down for him. She stood up for him, and I loved that about her. So I thought she was fantastic when she realized who he was. Heartbreaking, and I thought she played that great.
Yeah, same. I was bawling.
So yeah, I'm a little sad she got some backlash because I thought she was great.
Yeah, I like them. I like their chemistry. I'm always going to be in for. This is one time that I loved. I don't always love. We knew each other as children and reconnected, but because of like the nuance, like it fit the story so well. Oh, and I felt like the shared trauma worked so well. In a way, if I may just shit on Secretary Kim for a moment.
Poor Secretary Kim.
Felt forced and unnatural. And again, I'm saying this from a position of like, I would
for sure.
Could I have written the Secretary of Kim? Oh, of course. Like, that could have been a story I made. So I understand why it happened. It just didn't fit and feel like great to me. Whereas this was like, it was really powerful. And I don't hate amnesia as a rule, but I don't love it either. It's not like I'm like, ooh boy, we get some amnesia. But in this, I was willing to accept that, like, look, so much shit happened.
Right.
The fact that she was blocked out from like what happened when she was buried.
It wasn't like she didn't know she was there. Like, she knew she was there.
And that's fully believable to me that you would block out trauma like that. Like, I mean, I know it's a thing. It happens to people. And she knew she was there. She just blocked out what happened while she was there.
Laughing because it's making me think of other, like, her private life, like, stuff.
Okay, yeah. It wasn't her private life level amnesia.
No, like, places where I'm like, no, you don't forget. I'm not going to spoil it, but, like, you don't forget that part. You don't forget of your life.
Her family member.
No.
Oh God. Let's just move on. I can't deal.
Okay. What's a scene that sticks with you?
Oh, okay. So this is like, this was so powerful for me. So there is, and it was so heartbreaking, but I loved it because it was the scene that shows you, like, not everybody can have, like, the ultimate happily ever after, but look at how far they've come. And so there is a what if scene towards the end where we get to see what everybody's life might have looked like had them all not collapsed. And I know. So it's a fictional future of what everyone might have been doing had them all not collapsed. Gangdu, of course, is a professional footballer. And everyone, like Moon-soo at her big important job, Ju-won and Yoo-jin at theirs, and they are, of course, still together. And everybody who's anybody is watching this game where he, scores the final goal, and he's like beaming, and his team is all over him, for winning. And, because he was going to be, he wanted to be a professional soccer player, and his leg got, impaled by rebar. That scene broke me, yet I loved it because I love this imagining of, okay, so this is not the life we got. And, it takes his almost liver failure for him to be like, I'm going to live now. Like like he realized he hadn't been living for all these years, and now he's going to live, even though it's not the life that he imagined for himself. And that scene, just one of the most powerful scenes I think I've ever seen in a K-drama.
I whimpered. I was whimpering. Watching him, like, run down the field in slow motion.
I was bawling.
Like I whimpered like I had a rebar in my leg. Jesus. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Rebar through the leg is not a laughing matter.
I know. I don't know why. I don't know why I said that. I'm so sorry. But I was definitely, like, full on bawling, whimpering, going, like, sometimes, like, when K-dramas really make me cry, I'm like, oh God, like that. That was definitely...
it was, I think what was so beautiful about it is we got to see what all these people would look like truly happy. Right? And hopefully that they will find another path to that.
Right.
Moving forward.
So I'm going to say 2 scenes. So the one scene is when Gangdu is so he's walking the grounds of where the mall collapse was at night, because that's he's like on the construction crew essentially to rebuild there. And it's raining, and he's like convinced that like someone is buried there. Like he's essentially having yeah, he sees something, but he's also having like a PTSD flashback, and he's like convinced that there's still someone buried there, which there are people buried there, but he thinks it's someone like alive. And he starts like scrabbling through the mud, and he's like out of his mind. It's raining, and she finds him, and then like the rain is coming down so hard that the whole wall is gonna like collapse, and he's essentially like holding it to keep it from collapsing. And he's like out of his mind, you know, and just the entire scene, like that's survivor guilt. Like that entire scene showed me survivor guilt, that he was like, oh my God, someone's still there. I have to get them out. And, you know, his like leg hurt. He was like ignoring the fact that he was in pain. 'Cause I don't think he wanted to like, I guess he thought like his pain was obviously less than the people who had died. And I love that. It was a very hard scene to watch, but that was the scene where I felt like we really got a glimpse as to like what was going on inside Kangdu's head. And then the other scene, this might be stupid, but I love this scene. This is a scene that has stuck with me. I think I remember posting about it on Instagram. Lee Junho is just like the perfect, like, he's like that guy where he wants to take care of you, but he's like really gruff about it. And I remember he's sitting with her, with Moonsu. He's sitting with Moonsu, and they're like eating lunch. And he like wants to show he cares, but he like is socially stunted. And so he like stands up, and he takes the cap off the water and kind of like tosses it. He like opens up her water for her, tosses the cap, puts the water down, and it's like, eat slowly, and then walks away. And I just, to this day, I cannot get over that scene. I just can't get over the way he's like, eat slowly. And like, what? Oh my God. Like, Lee Junho, you killed me.
Okay, so we haven't talked much about Kdrama. But Kdrama has one of my most favorite lines in all K-drama. And so I had to look it up because I want to get it exactly right. So there is a scene kind of in like the front half of the drama when Kangdu is talking to Kdrama and saying that like he really envies Moonsu for not being able to remember the accident. And Kdrama says this, and it killed me. She says, how do you know she's comfortable? Just because the sound of your cry is louder, it doesn't mean your pain is greater. And I feel as if that right there just gets to the sense of the fact that folks carry their pain in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And whoever is the loudest, they may be in the most pain, but they may not be. And so I just think that that really sums up a lot of what happens with like I think it really honors the people who carry their pain more quietly, more buttoned down, who fall apart in the shower, who do it privately. And I just thought it was just like a really beautiful little homage to the way that we all hurt differently, and we all that's just human.
I love that.
I love that. And that also really describes Moonsu's character well, because that is the way she is. And so you're not going to see her like outwardly break down. And she doesn't more towards like the end of the drama. She just doesn't want people to see her cry. And I think part of it is I think she feels like she needs to be everything for the sister that was killed. And so she doesn't want to be a burden to like anyone, because she feels like she needs to fill 2 roles. She needs to be extra good. She needs to be extra successful. That is how she's like, that's how her grief is like manifested.
And she's also taken on the role of parent with her mother. Like,
true.
You know, like she is the caretaker in that relationship.
She has to be the both daughters to her mother and the mother to her mother.
Yep.
I know.
And the wife to her father, essentially. Not in like a gross way, but like,
for sure.
Yeah.
In an emotional support way.
Yeah, and so I feel like she doesn't have time to break down. She like can't let herself go. And so that's the way her character is. But then I feel like Lee Junho, Kang-do is the character that shows her that she can have those moments.
Well, he gives her the space eventually when he is able to, within his own trauma, recognize, and through grandma's help and coaching, make space for her sadness and drama. Like he becomes the non-judgmental space for her to like be a full human.
Yeah, that's why I felt like they were just a really complementary characters with each other, and that I think that's, and it was a quieter romance too.
And I'm always like, what do you want, people? Like, this is like, what more did you like? What did we need? I don't know.
And these were characters who had been through severe trauma, like so. I just thought her character was believable in the way that she reacted to things, and then I loved the quiet way that they were able to be there for each other. And that, like at the end where she just refused to like let him be alone. She's like, you're not going to suffer alone anymore. Especially because he did in that like collapsed mall. He was there alone. And
with a dead body.
With a dead body. Yeah. And she was basically like, I'm not going to let you go through that again. I'm going to be there for you.
With a dead body that was her first love.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a crazy... Yeah. That whole thing was like kind of a crazy twist, but... Yeah, I mean, I love the story. And you know, like I've said before, is that sometimes I have to like be removed from dramas almost to see if where they fall into like my list. And again, Rain or Shine is a drama that continually comes up for me, comes up in my mind. I think about Lee Junho's role. I think about the wonderful story. Would I watch it again? I mean, I don't know, because it was a hard watch.
It's a hard watch. It's not like a comfort watch, but there could be some comfort scenes. Like I truly adored when Grandma died and she would not let him mourn alone. And she's like, you know, when he's sleeping in Grandma's bed, when he's in her bed.
Oh my God, I forgot about that scene. Stop! That scene was so good.
It was so good. Like, and he's like, leave. And she's like, I'm not. She's like, I'm not.
She's like, I won't.
So
how can you dislike her?
I know.
Like, she was there for him.
I know.
She wouldn't let him be alone. She knew what Harmony meant to him.
And then finally when he's like, if you don't go now, I'm never gonna let go of you.
Stop.
It was so good.
I mean, that's really romantic and lovely. I just don't get when people are like, I didn't feel the connection and she was flat. I'm like, I just don't get it. I do not get it.
And just minor, but I know this is a scene that gets like kind of gift a lot, but it's where they're standing at the bus stop. She doesn't have a coat. She won't take his coat. And so he wraps his coat around her. And I know that
the best back hug. It's the best back hug because it's in his coat.
It's like the little things in this drama that all add up. Just these like little moments that, and I think that's why, like, as much as I loved Healer, like, no, I don't need like a park or errand boy to like save my life. Like,
you know, I don't salt of the earth.
I don't need him to like, I don't need a man who's gonna like, I don't know, kick a shelf down and help me escape from gangsters. Like, I don't need that.
Spider-Man in the corner of your bedroom on the ceiling.
Yeah, like I don't need that. What I need is, or what I guess like more of my fantasy is like a back hub with it. Like, it's like the little things. Like, okay, I'm just gonna say this real quick. I was saying today that my key fob for my car, it like said it was a low battery. And I was like, huh. And so I went into like my husband, Neil, and I was like, so my key fob, like, it's saying it has a low battery. Like, do I take that to the dealership? And Neil was like, for God's sakes, no, I will replace the battery. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, I just didn't know, that's never happened to me before. He's like, what? I was like, well, I've just never had a low battery in any of my key fobs. He's like, are you fucking serious? He's like, you've never had a low battery because I replaced them for you. And I was like, no way! The entire time we've been married, I just thought I was really lucky to have like long battery life
forever
in my key fobs. And Neil was like, what is wrong with you? And like, look, that's what I want. Like, my life is simple. Just replace my fucking key fob battery. Like, that is romance.
And don't tell you about it.
And don't tell you. Just do the things. And
I mean,
I'm like, that's
not a martyr.
Yeah.
He's not a martyr. He doesn't
need the recognition for it.
He doesn't need the recognition. He's like, I'm just going to replace your key fob battery because I love you. And like, that is what I need in my life. And you know what? Lee Junho, he'd replace key fob batteries.
So I do not have that in my life. My husband is a martyr and likes me to know all the things he does. And he recently chose to not be a martyr and just walk a path that's less martyry. However, he had to announce that this was the path he
he's like, yeah, I won't.
So the example I will give is he was like, because I run my car to empty and then begin. So I have found out that when I hit zero is just
a suggestion.
Yeah, I mean, zero really means like you got probably like 8 more miles.
Oh, you're talking about your gas tank?
Yeah, my gas tank.
Okay.
And so we also have one car.
Right.
So I use it the most because he works from home. And so, yeah, it's
Do you leave it in the driveway with 0?
Oh, of course I do. And so I'll like 1. If it's 0, I try, at 0, I fill it. But I mean, like 2, sure. If I'm at 2 and I'm like almost home, I'm like, fuck, I'm going home. So it's not uncommon for him to get in the car, turn on the car, and it goes bing, low gas. Mm-hmm. What I want in my life is for him to just quietly, with joy in his heart, be like, off I go to the gas station to fill it up. Or I just do it myself. Instead, I get to hear about it. And finally, at one point, he was like, you know what? I've just decided that I am no longer going to chastise you or be upset when I get in the car and see that the gas is empty. I'm just going to accept it and I'm going to do it. And I was like, that would be very hot of you to do.
Right.
Like,
right.
I'm not asking you to fix it for me because I'm 9 times out of 10, I'm the one who fills it anyway.
Right.
But if you ever happen upon it, if you just like didn't say shit and just filled it up, I would find that hot. I think then he came back and was like, actually,
he's like, actually,
I feel like it would be hot for you to have the courtesy to fill up the gas tank.
Oh no.
So I'm still waiting for my Lee Junho moment.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, Lee Junho would fill that gas tank.
He'd just fill it up.
He would replace key fob batteries. He would unload the dishwasher. He would do all of that for her, and he wouldn't say a fucking word.
No, he wouldn't. And I will say, the more that we talk about how amazing Lee Junho is, the more in retrospect that I like this drama. And I didn't dislike it. Like, I'm not far enough removed from it yet.
You just need to separate from some of the sads.
It's the drama I just finished, so I'm not far enough removed. But, like, the more we talk about him, I'm like, he is one of the best K-drama heroes to ever K-drama hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I fully believe 3 months from now, you're going to forget the sads, and the lasting impression, I mean, I could be wrong, but this is my prediction.
I'm not going to forget the 9th-hour liver failure.
Yeah, because I actually kind of blocked that out.
Okay, so let's just get to that because it's something everyone talks about. No, but there's no one there's no one in the Patreon. There's just no one that I've seen that was like, oh, that was a good choice.
Right. I don't think anyone wanted that. No one wanted that.
I could have handled the liver failure earlier. I felt like putting it where they did. And then, like Amy said, not letting us have a resolution until the very, very end. Like, I needed, for the amount of sad,
give us like a good 30 minutes of happy.
I needed 30 minutes of like an increasingly ratchet of happy.
Yes.
I wanted to process the liver almost dying like I would have liked to have done that in like maybe like not the halfway mark, but like not long after the halfway mark.
Like as soon as Granny dies, he starts getting like the nosebleeds are coming, and I'm like, don't even tell me that he's fucking dying now.
I know you were so mad.
I was so mad.
I was like,
I will burn down.
I know.
I would not recommend a romance. It wouldn't be a romance. I would not recommend I would not recommend a drama if it has the leads die at the end without a heads up. I would just not do that to someone.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you right now, don't do that to me. If they, like, if someone dies, like, actually dies.
Yeah.
And no one tells me, and you're like, I think people know us by now. They wouldn't do that to us.
I do not want to. If you ever give me a bait and switch where the hero or heroine dies at the end, I'm gonna.
I can handle somebody dying at the end. I just want to know going into it.
Right.
I don't need to know all the details.
Right, like uncontrollably fond. Like I knew from episode 1 that this is gonna.
I also want to know if if the ending of a romance is slightly controversial. I just want to know that. You don't even have to tell me that the HEA is the controversial part. Just be like, something about this drama has a controversial ending.
Okay.
Great. Thank you. That is all I kind of need to know. If there's kind of like a happy for now or it's questionable, as long as you kind of give me like a slight heads up. Like, hey, something about this ending might be like, eh. And then I feel like then I can brace myself. It's like, that's why we read romance, is because we don't have to brace ourselves. I can handle a non-romance, but let me brace myself.
I don't want to raw dog a drama and get to the end and find out that there's like an STD. I want the like I want to know.
Give me a heads up that chlamydia is coming. Like,
let me consent into the crabs.
Let me consent to syphilis, and then we'll go from there. Thank you. Yeah,
but I don't want to just stick it in and then go surprise, surprise.
Yeah, I mean,
give me gonorrhea from the get-go.
I would say for most dramas, though, again, it's not like I watch all K-dramas thinking it's a romance novel. I usually do try to brace myself, but if you're giving me like a really heavy romance and the romance is the absolute focus of the drama, and you don't give me a slight heads up on the ending.
Unless it's fantasy. Like, if there's a fantasy or, like, magical elements, like, I will say, because, like, that's the thing, because you know that when there's stuff like that a person can come back and most likely will because, like, in fantasy...
Then give me there's just a little something. But, like... Yeah. And, I mean, not everyone's like that. Some people are going to be like, I do want to raw dog it. I'm just going to, like, swing my dick and see where it hits.
Like, I would not have wanted to know how Alchemy of Souls ended. I would not have wanted to know how Fairy and Devil. Like, I'm glad I didn't know in those. Because I have the hope. When it's fantasy, I have the hope. Because anybody can come back when there's magic involved.
Yeah, I just like a nug. I like a little nug. If I'm going into, like, total death, I want a nug. I want some prep.
Yeah, if I went into final death, I want to prep. But, again, K-dramas, like, especially with historicals, I mean, I feel like I brace myself with those. Because people can die in a lot of ways.
Indeed they can. All right.
Okay.
Well, I think
we did it. We hit it. We hit all the spots.
Does anyone, I mean, because I feel like we kind of kept going.
You know what? We didn't talk about our second lead really quick.
Okay, yes. Okay, so Seoju Won, the character. Smash or pass?
Honestly, pass. I wasn't into him the entire time.
So I'm sorry. I'm going smash because we've got an over 40 character who is like,
God, he was so lanky.
I mean, you can climb that. You can climb that tree. But here's the thing. He's the kind of tall that stands out no matter where he is. Like, that is like it is a really
How tall is he?
A big tall. But I thought he was beautiful. I thought that he played his part well, and I would volunteer as tribute to climb that tree.
Yeah, I think he was also a character in My Liberation Notes. And I liked him in that too. He played a similar role in somebody who's just kind of like long suffering. And he's 6'4". Yeah, I mean, I like all heights. We know this. I was
a little too tall.
5'4" to me, fine. 6'5". I mean, I've been from.
You would need a step ladder for that.
Look, I'm just saying, if you're 6'4", I want you to be at least 300 pounds.
I at least need you to be like what's Tormund from Game of Thrones.
If you're like 6'4", 200 pounds, that's not working.
Yeah, I mean, I dated my first serious boyfriend was 6'5" and probably like 170.
Oh my God, snap that guy's hat.
Nope. I would break him over my knee like Bane does to Batman. No.
I'm just saying, I don't really care. I am height agnostic. I will go from tall and skinny noodles to like short, compact kings. I don't really care. I think there's just something about his like ability, because he did it in my Liberation Notes too, to just kind of like endure nobly.
Yeah,
he does.
Yeah, he does.
And tallly.
Very tall.
Very tall. Very tall.
Yeah, she is like teeny tiny.
See, I loved how tiny she was.
But I'm saying, like, compared to him, like that, there was a vast difference.
She was like a little pocket heroine, and I thought she was a little Tamaguchi. Cute. I thought she was.
Yeah, she was adorable.
She was, but I'm saying that their height difference, there was big disparity there.
The second female lead. Why do they always? I mean, the thing is, she just always has. She has an amazing resting bitch face.
She does,
yeah. And that's why she gets cast in what she gets cast, because Startup, resting bitch face.
I know.
Moon Lovers, incestuous resting bitch face. She's just always.
I know. I feel bad. She's like so typecast now.
I know she's beautiful, but she's just got the RBF.
Like, someone cast her as like someone super nice and sweet. Like, please, let's just go against type.
I have seen her in something. Give me a second to look it up, because I saw her in something where she was not bad.
Okay.
I mean, she was
a little.
Yeah, it gets hard because like it's like, come on, dude.
God, see, I'm looking at pictures of him with that curly hair, and I'm into it. I'm sorry. You know what? He got a Beck saying for the red sleeve.
Well, it was long overdue.
Yeah,
no,
I feel
I've never seen her in anything
other than Startup.
When they handed him the award, I hope they were like, "This is also for
she's a great character in one of my top dramas for no great reason except for the heart likes what it likes, which is Moon Lovers. But like I said, she's the incestuous sister brother fucking villain.
This poor woman. My God.
She's gorgeous though.
She is.
I know.
Beautiful. And I actually did like her character in this. I did.
Yeah. I mean, she wasn't bad in it. No. And I mean, there was like a tinge of like not incest, but like,
I mean, there's right. His mom is married to her dad.
Yeah. The parents got together. Keep it in the family.
Yeah. But yeah, smash.
Oh, smash.
Pass.
Yeah. Pass. Follow me like a redwood.
175-pound noodle of a redwood.
Oh my gosh. That was it when I was I had just seen the movie Shine that dates. So, I mean, it was the 90s. Shit. And the guy who plays like the young Jeffrey Rush, Noah Taylor, notable nerdy English or Australian performer, has been in many movies. Anyway, the guy looked like the guy from it looked like young Jeffrey Rush from Shine. The long hair, the big glasses. Okay. It was a vibe for me.
I mean, fair.
All right. Well, on that note, thank you for the trip down memory lane. The tinge of trauma there, and
And I think collectively we can say that we did love this drama.
Yeah, we all get behind this drama.
Yeah. And again, I'm going on record saying this should be a drama if you watched.
I think so. I think if you want to be like, if you want to consider like getting on like the wagon of like dramas that just like not to miss if you're a K-drama fan, this is on it.
That's what I think. Yep.
All right. Well. Annyeong!
Thank you for listening, everyone. Yeah. Annyeong!
Okay.
Kamsahamnida. Thank you for listening to Afternoona Delight. Where can you find us outside the pod? Head on over to afternoonadelight.com. That's AFTERNOONADELIGHT.com. You'll find links to all our social media, our book recs, K-pop and K-skincare recs, and if you want even more Afternoona Delight, because really who doesn't, you can join our Patreon, where you can choose the patron level that's right for you. Join in daily K-drama conversations, listen to bonus podcast episodes just for patrons, and participate in our monthly live K-drama support group via Zoom. We can't wait for you to be a part of the community. Until next time, annyeong!